Hello everyone, myself Dr. Anush Dubey, Assistant Professor, Physics, Department of Applied Science. In today's lecture, we will discuss regarding the force. Especially I will discuss Newton's laws of motion, but before that we will discuss what is the condition of classical mechanics when classical mechanics is valid. So when we are talking about the classical mechanics, in classical mechanics, when we can apply classical mechanics. As we have discussed in our earlier lecture, domain of physics, I have discussed various branches of physics, but when we are talking about the classical mechanics, that this branch of physics is applicable for the objects having large size. So this is applicable for macroscopic objects. Macroscopic object. So classical mechanics is the branch of physics which deals with the objects having large size. It is applicable for macroscopic objects. So when we will start laws of motion, first of all I want to express Newton's second law of motion. So as we know that force is the rate of change of linear momentum. Force is the rate of change of linear momentum. So this linear momentum, this is the linear momentum, and linear momentum is the product of mass and velocity. So here momentum P is the product of mass and velocity. Now I assume that we have two terms, mass and velocity. So if we are differentiating this term with respect to time, so I am using the formula differentiation of two functions, first and second. First function differentiation of second function plus second function differentiation of first function. So I am using this in this case. So if this formula is used, then force becomes F equal to first function m mass differentiation of second function plus second function differentiation of first function. So this is the value of force. Force equal to m dv by dt plus v dm by dt. So this equation has two terms. This term dv by dt, this term dv by dt gives the acceleration, because this is the rate of change of velocity. But what is this term? This second term is the how mass changes with respect to time. This is very important to understand this step. If I am saying that mass is not changing with respect to time, means if the result is F equal to m dv by dt plus v dm by dt, in this case if mass is not the function of time, m is not the function of time, what I mean to say, mass is not changing with respect to time. If this is the situation, then I can say mass is constant with respect to time. So what is this? This term dm by dt equal to 0. And this is possible only in the case of classical particle. For classical particle, when we are considering classical particle, means mass of the object is constant. Mass of the object is constant means mass is not varying with respect to time. If mass is not varying with respect to time, then mass is constant and the particle is said to be classical particle. So if the particle is classical, then this term becomes 0. So now this equation, whatever is written here, this equation becomes what? This terms becomes 0. So now this equation becomes F equal to m dv by dt, and this is known rate of change of velocity. Velocity change with respect to time. This is acceleration. So our equation becomes F equal to ma. So now we have obtained F equal to ma. This is the Newton's second law of motion. Force is the product of mass and acceleration. So now in this equation, what is the two equation of force? We have two equation of force. One equation of force is F equal to d by dt of p. Force is the rate of change of momentum, and second equation is F equal to ma. In these two equations, what is the major difference? The major difference is that force is the rate of change of linear momentum is more fundamental than F equal to ma, because this is valid for the particle having mass constant, and this is in general relation. So F equal to dp by dt, force is the rate of change of the momentum, is a more general equation in comparison to F equal to ma. So now from our discussion, it is clear we have result F equal to dp by dt, force is the rate of change of the momentum, and F equal to ma. These are the two equations related with Newton's second law of motion. Now I want to categorize the force. When we are dealing about regarding the force in this chapter, I can say force is divided in the two parts: contact force or attachment force. And second one is non-contact force or I can say field forces. So generally in our first lecture, the domain of physics, they have described four forces of the nature, four fundamental interaction of the nature, but now I am deriving these things in another way. Now I have differentiated force in the two parts. First is contact or attachment force, second one is non-contact or field forces. So now what is the difference between two? In this category of forces, for example, friction force, normal reaction force, tension force. When we are dealing with the forces like tension force, normal reaction force, and friction force, if we are dealing the forces in this category, then this is the type of contact or attachment force. But when we are dealing with the forces where mass or charge is associated, for example, gravitational force or electrostatic force, at that moment the force is field forces. So what is the meaning of field forces? Very simple example. If there is a gravitational force, then what is the cause of the gravitational force? For example, Earth has a gravity. What is the cause of Earth's gravitational field? Gravity, answer is mass of Earth. So this is the category of contact or field forces. Now, in next slide, I am discussing about normal reaction. So to describe the normal reaction in general, suppose this is an object. Mass of the object is capital M, so its weight is mg, and this is normal reaction. Now it's very clear. If someone is standing on the floor, he or she feels its weight due to its normal reaction. So here, in this case, normal reaction is equal to the weight of the object. So let us draw free body diagram. Free body diagram. So first of all, we have to understand what is free body diagram. Free body diagram means whatever the forces are possible, we have to draw out all the forces which are acting on the object. That is the meaning of free body diagram. As we have discussed in earlier example, if I have a block of mass m, this block having mass m, it has a weight W equal to mg and normal reaction is n. So this is the free body diagram of this block m. So free body diagram means we have to draw out all the forces clearly. Whatever the possible forces are applying, we have to draw out. Let us take an example, another example of free body diagram. Suppose this is the floor and this is the wall and there is a ladder. In this example, this is the center of mass of the ladder, this is the weight, let us say mg, and in the situation if it is moving in this direction, then this will move in this direction, it will fall downwards. So in this situation, what are the possible forces? Let us say this is a normal reaction N1, this is the another normal reaction N2. If block is moving this direction, then friction will work in opposite direction. So let us say this is friction 1 and it is moving this direction, friction will work in this direction. So in this case, how many forces we have used? Normal reaction 1, normal reaction 2, friction 2, friction 1 and weight. We have 4 forces. So what I mean to say, the free body diagram, the meaning of free body diagram is whatever the possible forces are there, try to find out all that forces. This is the meaning of free body diagram. Now, to understand this thing, let us make another example. In another example, so let us take an example here. I have 3 objects of mass m1, second object of mass m2, and we have the third object of mass m3. And this third object is on the ground. So in this example, we will draw free body diagram of each and every one. And from this example, it will clear to you what about normal reaction, what is the direction. So in general, as we have discussed in the case, if there is a mass m, weight is working downward, that is the weight, and normal reaction is upward. So generally, normal reaction always works perpendicular to the contact surface. So if this is the contact surface, the normal reaction perpendicular to the contact surface. This is the one important thing. Second thing is that generally it passes from the center of mass. So this is the about normal reaction. So in this case, if I want to draw free body diagram of block 1. So first I want to draw free body diagram of block 1. So when we are drawing the free body diagram of block 1, so let us say this is the block 1 having mass 1, its weight is W equal to m1 into z, and normal reaction, let us say n1. So this indicates that n1 is the normal reaction. Normal reaction kiska? n1 is the normal reaction of what? n1 is the normal reaction between block 1 and 2. Keep in mind. So in the block 1, it will work upward direction. For block 2, it will work in the downward direction. So what is n1? n1 is normal reaction between block 1 and 2. So in this case, n1 equal to m1g. This is the free body diagram and equation for block 1. Now if we want to make FBD for block 2, suppose I want to make FBD for block 2, then if I am making the FBD for block 2, Let us say this is block 2 of mass M2. So in this case, this is the block 2, weight is downward direction, so this is M2 into G. This is the weight on block 2, and this is N2. This is N2. So this, if I will write N2 equal to M2G, then it will be not correct, because for the block 2, normal reaction will work on downward direction for N1. So for the block 2, M2G is downward direction, this is downward direction. N2, normal reaction between the block. What is N2? N2 is the normal reaction between block 2 and 3. So this N2 is upward, but due to the mass of the block 1, there is normal reaction N1 which is working downward for the block number 2. So this indicates that in this case, what should be the N2? N2 is the N2 equal to, because M2G is downward, N1 is downward, N2 equal to N1 plus M2G. This is N2 equal to N1 plus M2. Then what is N1? From this equation, N1 equal to M1G plus M2G. So N2 equal to M1 plus M2 into G. This is the normal reaction between block 2 and 3. So from this example, at least it is clear, normal reaction always acts in pairs. N1 for the block number 1, N1 is upward, but the same normal reaction for block number 2, it is N2. This is the meaning of normal reaction. Let us take what is the free body diagram for block 3. In case of block 3, if I am making free body diagram FBD for block 3, then what happens? So this is block 3. M3 is the mass of the block 3 and the weight is downward, that is M3G. This is the weight. And normal reaction will work upward, N3. And what is N3 here? N3 is the normal reaction between block 3, this is the block 3 and ground. So this will be N3. So what is N3? N3 is the normal reaction between block 3 and ground. And this is N3. But for the block 3, N2 will work downward, because in the block 3, N2 will work downward. So in the case of block 3, there will be a force which will, that is N2, it will work downward. So what is the net equation for the force? I can write N3 equals to N2 is the downward, M3G is the downward, and what is N2 actually? N2 is M1 plus M2G. So simply I can write N3 equals to M1 plus M2 plus M3 into G. This is the normal reaction in the block 3. And this N3 is the normal reaction between the block 3 and the block. So from this I want to make a conclusion. What is the conclusion finally I want to say? If I will write G, then what is Z? Z equal to N3 divided by M1 plus M2 plus M3. So this is what? What is the meaning of this equation? This equation what tells us? This equation tells us that Z is the common acceleration, because for all the 3 blocks Z is the common acceleration. So we can say a conclusion, this Z is a common acceleration, and this is what? Net force. Common acceleration equal to net force, or we can say net pulling or pushing force upon total mass. This is the one example of free body diagram. Let us take another example for free body diagram. Let us say the situation, I have again 3 blocks, and these 3 blocks are connected with strings. So mass of the block is M1, mass of this block is M2, mass of this block is M3, and let us say a force is F. So if these 3 blocks are connected with string, then there should be attachment force. What is that attachment force? I will say that is the tension force. So this is the tension of for 1, this is tension for 2. Now I want to find what is the common acceleration. Suppose in the case of the train, all the compartments of the train, they are moving with the same acceleration. So I want to find what is that common acceleration. So in this example, I will make free body diagram of each passes M1, M2 and M3, and I will find what is the normal reaction or what is the tension and what is the common acceleration. So let us make FBD for the block 1. So if I am making the FBD for block 1, this is the block 1, M1, force is in this direction, and here there will be a tension 1. For the block 1, tension is in this direction. But for the block 2, this is M2, for the block 2, tension in the block 2, this will be in this direction, and T2 will be here. And if I will make a VD for the block 3, M3, only T2 is here. So you can see T2 and T2, they are in opposite direction. So in this case, if I will make the free body diagram, for M1 this force in this direction, but for the M2 tension in this direction. For the block 3, for the block 2, T2 is in this direction, for the block 3, T2 is in this direction. So if I will equation force F minus T1, net force equal to M1 into A. For this case, T1 minus T2 equal to, and for this, because complete force is T2 equal to M3 into A. So if we have 3 equations, and in these 3 equations, if I will add F minus T1 equal to M1 into A, T3 equal to M3 into A, all the things will be cancelled. So net force equal to M1 plus M2 plus M3 into A. So finally we have common acceleration F equal to M1 plus M2 plus M3. Again we derive the same result. Common acceleration equal to net pulling force upon total mass. So if we will use this concept, we can easily solve the problem related with Newton's laws of motion. Now what I have done, we have concluded that common acceleration is equal to common acceleration equal to net pulling force upon total mass. So what I mean to say that if the 2 objects are attached with a string, the force is tension force, and if the 2 objects are connected, then there is a normal reaction. And the normal reaction and the tension, the situation is almost same. Both have the same situation. So if anyone asks, what is the net force on the block 1? So answer is F minus T1. So F minus T1 is the net force on the block 1. What is the net force on the block 2? Answer is T1 minus T2. What is the net force on the block 3? Answer is T2. So T1, T2 and T3 I have discussed. So what is T1? T1 is the tension between the block 1 and 2. What is T2? T2 is the tension between block 2 and 3. So this is about attachment force, contact force, tension force and normal. In the next lecture, we will discuss about equilibrium, and then we will continue pulley system. Thank you.